We started all right. First 2 minutes.
Well, okay.
First 2 minutes are
Can't
good.
play the first half and lose 6 points down against South Africa. Or it'll be a different proposition.
Who knows, Rob? 6 points down, 10 points down, 20 points down. If we are, we have to do what we did today and what we've done in previous games. Ideally, we want to be 6 points up and 10 points up and 20 points up. But the final outcome is a credit to what the players did in that second half and how they kept their focus. Jamie's point about rushing things in the first half was a good one. Because we had plenty of chances and we were playing at width and pace, but a couple of times we rushed the final pass or we didn't get to the breakdown quickly enough. But I believe that actually was probably better for us going 6-0 down. It meant that we had to improve certain areas. It meant that our fitness would have to come through, and it did. And it also meant our bench, who knew that, they must have guessed that they were going to have a big role to play in an early introduction. They did really well too. So we know also that playing against South Africa and Georgia are different games, but they didn't score a try, so that was a pleasing aspect too. But we're still working for that performance that we can be happy with in 80 minutes. It's never going to be a complete performance because the opposition are going to have their moments. I think Georgia are a very good team anyway. Like, they've won 12 out of 13 games, they've beaten Wales and Italy, and they are outstanding in that contact area, whether it's their tackling or they're competing for ball. So we've got to give them credit too, but we know that certain aspects we will have to improve. And at least we saw the improvement in the second half, which was pleasing.
You've been banging on about injuries all week. It looked like you got through unscathed, is that correct?
Yeah, so far there's a couple of what you'd call normal rugby test match niggles. Nothing more serious than that, which is great. Really pleased that Kyle got through today's game because he actually was one that went off injured on Tuesday. I think I said to you, with 3 or 4 guys that went off injured at training on Tuesday, Darcy and Kyle being 2 of them, but he'd recovered it well enough to train Thursday. He got a whack in his knee too, but it looks like that's fine. So yeah, that I'm sure it wasn't in the front of players' minds, but they would have seen last night a couple of injuries in that New Zealand South Africa game last week, players in the England squad getting injured and other players. So it is a tricky fixture. Jamie got injured in the last time we played Georgia, cracking his cheekbone. So to get through that with the second half performance and with no injuries, that's a massive positive.
When do you expect to have Darcy back training?
We'll see that. We're training this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the guys are going to have Friday, Saturday off. So we're aiming for Thursday for Darcy. If he's not able to train Thursday, it'll be the following Monday in France, is what we believe, chatting to the medics. We have 2 weeks now before the build-up 2 weeks of build-up. It'd be great to have everybody available to train Tuesday, Thursday to give us that extra 2 days preparation, but if not, it's a normal test week the following week.
A couple of lively performances off the bench. Are you still undecided about 2 or 3 places for South Africa, or is it set in stone by this time?
It's probably not set in stone, and we'll have a good look at that game again in depth. I'm more clear on the 15 than the 23, and I'm sure there'll be some players today, and I know there's players today that put their hands up that to come into the mix, whether in the 15 and probably more particularly in the bench. So yeah, that's been a really positive outcome for the 4 games. Our bench has played really well. We finished every game stronger than the opposition, and it's credit to our fitness of the squad and what they've done during this campaign, but also 8 guys are making a difference in the last 20 minutes of games, and they certainly did that today.
Just to clarify, you're pretty confident Darcy will be okay for South Africa?
Yep. I don't want to say that because you jinx it, but no, that the indications would be by the end of this week, when potentially Thursday he'll be back to full fitness. If not, it'll be the following week.
Ben White come through okay for you?
He did, and the amount of work he did, it was amazing. he'd really given that ankle a wrench 3 weeks ago, an ankle that he'd injured at the end of the season. But we were playing with a lot of width for the first half and into the second half, and he was getting ruck to ruck. He was there in support. So yeah, I think it's good that he got minutes. Definitely good he got minutes, and certainly got work today.
What are your overall reflections of the summer, and how ready are you, Scottish fans?
It's been really enjoyable. Speaking personally, just working with the group for a longer period, and seeing how well they're training, how well we're all don't want to use the term we're all getting on, but with like the collaboration and the connection, that's been really enjoyable. But that's obviously not what we're here for. We're here for the players playing close to their potential and winning for Scotland, and we got close to that. Very close to having four wins in this period, and close to playing some rugby that excites our supporters and is a real threat to the teams we're up against, any team we're up against. But we know we still got improving to do. Like some players played their second game of the season today, a guy like Ben White. Others are playing their third game, so we know we'll get better with more minutes on the field, and we'll be better again for today's experience and match.